I knew it. I knew it was coming. So guys, if you had seen the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku video from a couple of days ago, then you would have known that instead of it being, I guess, a separate transformation or character all in itself, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken is actually just a temporary buff effect that gets applied to Goku. And it looks like they've done the same thing with another highly anticipated transformation. Guys, what is going on? It is your boy Tech, and we are back for another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video. And first of all,
want to give a big thank you to Syriax for letting everybody react to this gameplay.
And I want to say a big happy Father's Day. And guys, if you're able to, don't take for granted being able to still spend some time with your pops as well. In today's video, we have not only a Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta update, but also a brand new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero producer interview as well, and where they actually were asked about Dragon Ball GT. So we're going to dive into all of this in a second. Guys, if you haven't already, consider leaving a like on the video. It is the easiest way to help us out. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload as soon as they go live. But without further ado, let's hop right back into Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku being a temporary buff skill and not a character, I gotta ask you guys, how do you feel about this? I see a couple of people in the comments on the Sparking Zero, news and post fan hub page that as long as Blue Kaioken and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved are both just buff skills, then it's fine. As long as one's not a transformation and one is a buff skill, then it's cool. I see a couple of people saying that nah, it had to be a transformation, but then as I was saying earlier, some people might like it this way as it cuts down on the extra slots that Goku and Vegeta have to take up. Now, if you look at it like that, I guess that's true, and that's probably the optimal way to look at it. But I would really like for this to just be, a separate transformation all on its own and not a buff skill that takes, well, I think it takes, these take what, like 3 blast stocks, if I'm not mistaken. You guys might have to correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong, but or maybe it's just Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. I don't know. I gotta go back and watch the gameplay again. But if both of these take 3 stocks, like, yo, that's expensive for what? Maybe up to like 30, 45 seconds of the form. I don't know. You guys gotta let me know how you feel about this down below in the comments. These are definitely the best looking forms so far. In the auras, I don't know. I'm a Vegeta fan, so I'm gonna say Blue Evolved aura looks better because I just like how, I guess, not as rigid as Blue Kaioken's aura. It just looks like way more flowy and smoother, and I like the sparkles as well. The Blue Kaioken aura, that just looks aggressive, violent, but I like that too. Man, I said it in the other video, I'm gonna say it again. They outdid themselves. They did not let a single thing slide in those dev meetings, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the Japanese version of the demo that they got to play, it had the updated camera fix as well, so that's another good sign for this game. If they're gonna be patching things that quick, even across just different demo versions, oh guys, we're in for a good little ride here. So next we're gonna hop over here to multiplayer.it for their interview with producer Jun Furutani on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So let's hop in and see what kind of questions they were asking. So we're gonna start out with question number 1. What makes the Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi series unique from all other Dragon Ball games? And Jun Furutani is gonna answer, take a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, for example. It's clearly designed for esports, with all the characters balanced in terms of strength. A game like Kakarot, though, instead wants you to relive Goku's journey through history. As for Sparking Zero, as for this puppy right here, our goal is to completely immerse you in the characters, recreating them perfectly through their special move. Oh, they could sell me a car right here. Or given the possibility to create fights and team combinations never seen in the original. Yo, they selling it right here. This feeling of involvement also passes through the details of the scenario. If a character begins to collect energy and charges its ki, the weather may begin to change, and you can even see the blades of grass and the trees move. Or even panic could be created among the audience of the Tenkaichi arena. Whoa, with people starting to run away from, yo, we got motion in the stands of the Tenkaichi arena now. The next question is going to be, here at Summer Game Fest, you confirmed the return of local split screen multiplayer, but only for the Room of Spirit and Time. I imagine it's a question of technical performance, and they're gonna answer, when we started developing this game, the focus was on online and single player. Yes, that's something we talked about months ago. The focus for this game was definitely gonna be like online ranked and stuff like that, but then we realized how important it was to give the possibility to play in local multiplayer mode, i.e., I guess the storm of like online backlash. I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they didn't give a fuck. I don't know. As you may have guessed, the choice of the Room of Spirit and Time is linked to the technical question. The most important aspect for us is the user experience, and not having buildings collapsing and mountains destroying helps us to have the split screen multiplayer battles while maintaining high quality, and that does make sense. That does actually make sense, I can't even lie, but I still feel like it has something to do with implementing this recently, because if they were going to do this in time for the game's release, they probably had to cut some corners, right? I mean, I could be completely wrong about this, and this was the way they were going to implement it from jump, but I mean, they said that they didn't make this game with local multiplayer in mind, so I have to feel like this was a recent decision, or at least a more recent decision. So next, they're gonna go on and say, let's talk about the episode battle mode and the ability to alter the story with your decisions. How much will these choices weigh? Can we expect alternative rewards? Without going too much into detail, I can confirm that there will be incentives to play the adventure multiple times. I'd like to point out the possibility of making choices and deviating from the main story only occurs in certain particularly iconic moments. The results do not lead to a completely different evolution of the story, but more so a variation to those moments, so that even the most experienced fan can have something new and different from what they remember by heart. And I think this is pretty much what we saw in that story mode gameplay against Raditz, where if you were Goku and you go alone and you end up fighting with Krillin and Roshi, it pretty much led to the same outcome as if you were to go fight with Piccolo. Piccolo still showed up anyway, if I'm not mistaken. So the next question, this is actually a good question, especially for all of my competitive players. Balance has never been a priority in Budokai Tenkaichi. This party game but galore right here. Are you thinking of a way to prevent everyone from using the same characters in online games? I'm not gonna say this is just party game galore, because even though Budokai Tenkaichi has always been bonkers, there has been a really competitive side to the game. As for team fights, Jun Furutani is going to reply, there will once again be a character cost system. There will be a limit number of points to spend to form the team, and you will not be able to make a team with Gogeta and Vegito because you would run out of all the points available. This is how we try to balance the challenges, leaving it up to the character or the player to decide how to combine characters to have an effective team. So just completely sidestep that balancing question. Nah, we ain't talking about balancing individual characters. Y'all just handle that with the team cost system. That's on y'all. We'll talk about balancing characters when y'all break the game in the first week, because that is precisely what is gonna happen. So what was the biggest request from fans of the series? What element did you focus on the most? This is another good question. I think the main request from everyone was to have as many characters as possible. That makes sense. And it's been one of the pillars since the beginning of development, so I hope the fans will appreciate what we've been preparing. The other goal was to offer a combat system that was modernized and spectacular, but absolutely familiar to all those who are nostalgic to Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Our hope is that if you're a longtime fan and playing Sparking Zero, you immediately think, hey, I remember how to play, and that is what I hope happens to me too. I hope it's just like riding a bike, man. So the next question is going to be in this regard. I saw that you have inserted 2 control schemes. Is there any particular difference beyond the different layout of the keys? No, you can get the same results with both settings. That's good to know. And do essentially the same combos. Also good to know. There is no difference from this point of view, and it's not that one option is more limited or more advantageous than the other. So if you guys have ever played like Street Fighter, or I think they have modern controls in Tekken too. So if you use modern controls or simple controls, yeah, some of your combos are easier and a lot of the inputs are easier, but it also takes away from other places in your kit. So I'm glad that even though you might have a different layout, it doesn't give you an advantage or a disadvantage, you know, just in the kit itself. So that's good to know. And next is going to be modes and Easter eggs. How does progression happen in the game? How do you unlock characters and items? Oh, we asking the good questions now. I like how they started off light, and now we're asking the heavy hitting question, like, yo, how does the game work? What are we supposed to do to get all the characters? Especially through the 2 largest game modes, they're gonna reply, episode battle and custom battle, but also through online challenges and other local battles. It'll be possible to accumulate points to spend to unlock characters and objects. So we're gonna be unlocking characters in game with in-game currency. Wow. All right, I'm not mad at that actually. We kind of got hinted towards that with the pre-order bonus with Gogeta and Broly, but it's nice to see that finally confirmed here too, like from the producers themselves. So the next question is going to be, in short, more or less like in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, will the Dragon Ball mechanics also return? They're going to reply, yes, all the imagery around Dragon Balls and the idea of collecting them to make a wish will return in Sparking Zero. In Budokai Tenkaichi 3, there were micro games and loading where, oh, they're talking about the Gohan where he's pulling up the Z sword and like the who is it, Goku eating all the ramen bowls and stuff like that. The mini games and the pastime, are they gonna come back in Sparking Zero? So in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the technology led to long loading times, so that's why it was included. But we're in 2024, and since many of those limitations are no longer there, we didn't put so much effort into extras of that type. No, the loading screen mini games are gone, guys. Ah, man. Next question is going to be, in older episodes, there was also a password system where you could unlock characters and items by entering a code. Will there be something like that? No. I can confirm that there will no longer be password characters. Damn it. Fine, it's fine, it's fine. The impressive roster of fighters. Okay, now we're moving on to the characters. Since the release of Budokai Tenkaichi 3, new series, animated films, all this stuff have been released, and Daima is on the way. How difficult is it to make the richest and most complete Dragon Ball game today with all this material to draw from? And they're gonna reply, that's right. With all of these new stories released in the meantime, it was really complicated to make a selection of characters, given that there's just so many of them now. And one of our goals from the beginning was to create a larger roster of fighters than any other Dragon Ball game developed in the past. We started from the basics and the fundamental characters, obviously adding all of those who are best known among fans and beyond. However, we will have the opportunity to reveal more about the details of the roster over the next few months. I think that's saying a lot without saying it right there, guys. And now we're gonna get into the question of the day. Can't you tell us anything at all about the characters from GT and the original series? We announced that there will be content from Dragon Ball Daima, but we can't talk about any of the other characters yet. That's going to be their statement on GT and OG Dragon Ball. I'm going to read between the lines here and say, hey, they're going to get their own trailer, okay? Just be patient. I'm hoping that's what they're saying. There's no way. I really hope that like GT isn't like freaking DLC pack 4 or something, bro. Oh my god, if they do that, I'm gonna be tight. And then they're gonna ask about the music. Will there be songs taken from the anime, or will they all be original? And Jun Furutani is gonna reply here. Here too, I can't say yet in detail which songs will be there and which won't, but we are planning at least one package of music taken from the anime, which will be distributed as downloadable content. They will have music DLC packs. I know some of you guys are into that. I don't know, it depends on what music they take if I get that, but it'll probably be like in the Ultimate Edition and stuff like that as well, so you probably won't even have to worry about buying that down the line, hopefully at least. And I think this is going to be the last question right here. What are the most complicated characters to include in a Dragon Ball game? Which ones do you have the most difficulty integrating into the combat system? I don't know, man. From that gameplay, like we saw with Afro, it looks like they're having kind of a tough time with the Giants right now, but Jun Furutani is going to answer, let's see. Almost all Dragon Ball characters know how to fly, but there are some who can't, such as Mr. Satan. Yet, when the fight moves to the air, he still has to be able to move somewhat mid-air with his technique, so a solution had to be found. Then there are those characters who can't charge ki and therefore don't have specific energy techniques, and the pace that they play the game is different from characters that have to charge as well. So we had to invent some very specific mechanics and actions for them. The challenge is therefore to make sure that the characters are all equally interesting to play. I like that answer because they did address a few things that I was kind of curious about. How does this game or this series in 2024 address some of these nuances in the gameplay that affect the pace of the game itself? But that is going to wrap up this interview, guys. Don't worry, I'll be sure to link the original article down below in the comments and the description so you can check it out yourselves. But let me know in the comments how you felt about everything that was said here, not only about Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, but also the interview. I mean, that balancing question just got completely sidestepped, but we'll let it go for right now. But anyways, I appreciate you all so much for watching until the end. If you made it this far, another huge Dragon Ball Sparking Zero update. And once again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. If you are blessed enough to still have yours around, don't take for granted being able to spend some time with them. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Have a great day. And I'm going to see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.